We here for you. We got you. This is another episode, I believe episode 21, Eagles Elite, season 4. It is your boy Cool McCain. Right over there. Man, Benny Boom Designs in for another week. We're going to go in the corner right down there below Benny Boom, Eagles Diva, sister. And below me, Key in the building. Oh, it's another week. Y'all know what it is. We had 2 games. We got plenty of news. And then we got a question we're going to be asking at the end. So y'all know how we do things. The first thing we got to do is get a little extra hypeness, right? The first thing we got to do is just get a little extra punch, a little, what the French say, a little je ne sais quoi, get that little extra energy going and all that. So in order for us to do that, there's one thing we need to do. But before we do that, I just want to say, I am through defending, and I said this last week, I just want to make sure that this is clear to everyone. I am through defending people who don't need to be defended. We're going to make things happen. We're going to win. A lot of people going to hate on how we win. They're going to complain, this and that. Say whatever you got to say. Go ahead. That makes you feel happy. Try to dream up scenarios for certain players getting traded and all that. Do what you got to do. Whatever makes you happy. But when the Sundays come and everybody here and we still whooping on y'all asses, I don't want to hear nothing in. But you're not as good as us. That being said, let's get to it.
The kick is away, and the kick is it's good! And the Eagles win!
It's hard to come to South Philadelphia and leave here with the win. You just don't come to Philadelphia and leave here with the win.
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you. Let the celebration begin.
All right, y'all. So we start off, we finish, we move everything the same way. If anybody's listening to the show in your background, make sure you mute that because it's a little feedback I'm getting on my end. But so y'all know how we do this. Nothing's really different. We're pretty consistent from week to week. Y'all know what we're starting off at. All right, so we're going to start this week with Key, and we're just going to circle around. So, Key, your first bit of news that you would like to throw out there in regards to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, looks like Goddard hasn't been been in practice today. Nothing new. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with him, but I think it's his knee or something again. Yeah, nothing crazy about Goddard being not hurt, not injured. So that's one.
All right, Diva.
Somebody else go. I ain't gonna take all the shine today.
Thank you, ma'am. Diva.
Has some limited players. Jalen Carter was one of them with the shoulder, which that's been an ongoing issue since preseason.
Yep, Benny Boom from Benny Boom Designs. What you got for us?
Well, only update that I did catch was about Dallas Goedert. Wasn't a big surprise, but it was just today. He still got tomorrow and Friday, so we'll see.
So I alluded to this earlier, but I'm going to go ahead and dive into it for a few minutes here. AJ Brown today basically was like, hey, I apologize, maybe I should have handled things better, whatever. I'm not trying to leave or anything. This is paraphrasing, of course. I'm not trying to leave, just a little frustrated. I got a good relationship with my coaches and my quarterback. You just want to be great, and sometimes when you want to be great and you're not getting the production that you want, you get a little frustrated. And then we've got all these people that have been saying since the game, oh, AJ don't want to be in Philly. He wants to be traded. These clowns have wasted their time coming up with scenarios and places he might go, who he might be traded for, all that good stuff. He's got 2 extensions since he's been with the city. He's a big part of the team. His kids love being there. His family loves it. All these things are important, right? Frustration is part of any sport. There's going to be times where maybe you're not getting what you want and things aren't going the way you want them to go. But that doesn't mean that you want to be out of the situation. That just means you want the situation to be the way you want it to be. And that's all this really was. Key, Benny, y'all got any thoughts on that one before we move to whatever else we're going to throw out there for news?
I just hate how the media twists things around like they always do. We all know AJ wants to be here. He wants to succeed. He's a winner. He's a competitor. He just wants to make the team better. He win and compete. So it's just the media. We all know how Philly media is. Just wants to twist and turn everything around and, oh, he's a diva this. Oh, he's a diva that. We know this. And what happened last year? They blew up the whole book thing. Oh, he's reading. Okay. Those people go on the sideline, they eat sunflower seeds. He reads the book. Who cares? It didn't mess with him. He was feeling in his own. He was in his box. He was straight. So, I mean, what he said was a little, distracting. Of course, he apologized for it, but he takes some accountability. You don't see him flailing all every week, saying, "Oh, I want to get out of here." Trust me, he will let us know if he wants to leave or not, and he's not. So, I'm not feeding into it. We go into week 5. Last week it was done and over with. That's in the past. We go into Denver now.
I dig it, Benny.
First thing first. His contract is too darn large for the Eagles to trade him. So let's scratch that, because that's a $72 million cap hit. If we try to trade, if he wants to trade, and he knows that, Howie knows that, but AJ already said this is his home. Why would you leave your home and go somewhere else where you was winning when you was home? See, I listen to WIP every day, just to try to get my voice in there and cuss them out a little bit, but they don't select my calls anymore. But when you look at his stats, since he been here and been in the league, he been an all-pro with Jalen Hurts, never been an all-pro with Ryan Tannehill. Okay. The whole thing was to give Derrick Henry the ball, just like giving the Saquon the ball this past season. But he had more production here. What, last 3-4 years? There's all this media crap, man. I'm tired of hearing this joint. Even Dan Sileo talking about, all right, yeah, every receiver in the league that's a top receiver in the league is a diva. They want their money. They want their catches. They just want to feel, well, AJ, he wants to feel like he contributes. But he don't know that with all the attention that's on him, that's his way of contributing, because that's supposed to open up for everybody else.
I'm going to stop you right there for a second. He knows that, but here's the point. His thing is, I can get that ball from anybody if you put it where I can get it. And he's frustrated when the targets are bad targets or he's not being targeted. And there are times where he could be hit and he ain't really tripped if he doesn't get all the catches. But he knows that, him being out there makes a difference. But they don't help his numbers. Nobody's going to pay him. The Eagles aren't going to re-up him for the money he's going to want, because he attracts attention. How he's going to base it on numbers. That's why he's to be true. That's why he's, throwing that out there. Because every time, he throw it out there, what happens the next few weeks, he gets his targets, he gets his yards. He's just trying to make sure he get his. Go ahead and finish, Benny.
Yeah, but, at the end of the day, this is a team sport. I'm glad that, he took accountability today, Same. He does this every year. He voices frustration, and what happens after he voices frustration? He go on the tear. So let's see how much of a tear he going this year.
Do you have any thoughts on AJ Brown's?
I mean, AJ's a very vocal person, so I don't understand why every time he expresses how he feels, everybody want to blow it up. I mean, look at Travis Kelce. He be over there cussing out Andy Reid every week, it seems like. So I don't understand why when it comes to anything Philadelphia Eagle related, they want to blow it up. Oh, he wants to be traded and all this and all of that. Like, I mean, if you one of the best wide receivers in the game, of course you want the ball. Of course you know you catching the ball makes a difference, but it's about calling the plays to help you get the ball. Like, we just keep calling the same plays over and over. Would you not be frustrated if you are one of the best wide receivers in the game and you keep running the same routes knowing it's not working? I mean, so I don't understand why can he express himself when other people express themselves. They ain't getting drugged through the media day in and day out, saying, "Oh, it's bigger than football and it's this and that, and he needs to go." The crazy stuff that I heard, yeah, I seen it. The crazy stuff that I heard this week was it's just stupid, and I'm just tired of our names always being in everybody's mouth.
Well, our name is in everybody's mouth because we are winning.
I say the one thing I'd add is Jamar Chase was complaining about not getting the ball and all that good stuff after his game. Literally saying, I'm not getting opportunities, frustrated. I like winning, I don't like losing. You haven't heard anything about that. Why haven't we heard anything about that? Because it's not on the Eagles. That's why we haven't heard anything about that. It's all good, though. I'm starting to look at it like it's a compliment. Everybody got so much time that they got to keep our name in their mouth and they got to keep worrying about us. So keep worrying. Appreciate you. Do the thing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. Key, any other news got for us?
I think participants in practice, that guy that can't cover his soul, he practiced today, I think. Some other people. But I mean, it's nothing too crazy. They asked Jalen about what they thought about. Of course, they're gonna ask Jalen. Jalen, how Jalen is. He don't feed into that crap either. So he's all business. So he don't care about nothing what AJ say. AJ said they got a good relationship, coach. So just move on. We on it again. We're on Denver. So and Keely Ringo was actually on the list of something. I don't know how, but okay.
What list was he on, Key?
I don't remember what list that was. I just know he was on it.
Diva, you got any other news?
He was on the highest graded NFL CV for week 4.
Yeah, that list.
I do have Quinyon Mitchell was the NFC player of the week for Philadelphia for that lockdown performance that my boy has been playing.
The one that Vic Fangio said might have been the best game he's played as a pro?
Yes.
That performance?
That performance.
I was just making sure we was talking about that one.
I mean, to me, he played hands down the best last week because, after he was put on Devontae Adams, you heard no more from Devontae Adams.
This is true.
Oh, and Devontae was talking all that smack. Oh, yeah, I'm going to show up the rookie, this and this and this and this, blah, blah, blah. Okay. You had that one touchdown off Reed, which was offensive PR, but they don't do that. So, but shut you up.
That's what I was like.
Kobe Dean, what's that? The 21-day practice window is open for Nakobe Dean.
Okay.
Good to see him come back. Where he fits, who knows?
Well, I'm going to piggyback off that since you brought it up, sir. Yes, his window has been opened, and one Victor Fangio, or Victor John Fangio, has stated that this may open up some opportunities for other formations or people in different positions. So Zach Bond may be going to edge rusher at times once he's healthy, once Nakobe Dean is healthy. So that way they can keep all three of those guys in the game. Jahad Campbell, Nakobe Dean, and Zach Bond. And we've got that needed edge because of injuries, so Zach Bond can play some there. And then he still will be able to cover and do the things he does, but he also will be able to be an edge rusher on top of that. So I will give props. So I like everything that Vic's doing except cornerback 2. Everything else I'm cool with, but cornerback 2, I'm trying to understand if maybe I'm not seeing what he's seeing. Because he was stating that Keeley had a really good game. I won't say he didn't have a good game, but I saw a lot of just watching the game. We were talking about doing the game. I saw a lot of times where there was a play that could have been made or a tackle that could have been made that he did not make. So my thing is, I feel like for you to have a really good game, you got to do that as well. Being physical and coverage is cool, but once the guy catches the ball, what you going to do with it? I think when we look at these gradings and things, they're not taking that into account. They're just taking into account like how many passes were caught on you and whatnot, but not what's happening after the catch, how much you're tackling stuff like that. They have to not, because Ringo was way different from what we expected to see from Ringo. But yeah, so we might be getting that package or packages with Jahad Campbell, Nakobe Dean, and Zach Bond all on the field at the same time. Yeah, I ain't gonna speak for nobody else, but there's some excitement in that from me.
Yeah. All right, look, hey, switch up, bring Bond down. Sometimes Campbell comes down. Have Bond and Nakobe play the linebacker and had Campbell
on the edge.
Oh my God!
But you got to remember the problem with doing that. Campbell's a rookie; he's still learning that position.
Exactly, but I'm just saying sometimes, not all the time. I feel more comfortable with Bond being down because he's been in the system.
I think it would be Bond. I think they would just let it be Bond because Campbell's really good at what he does so far. But I feel like for rookies, you don't want to add too much to their plate at one time. Like we always be like, let's do this. Let's bring this guy. Let's let that guy play this. But, they got to learn the positions. And rookies, I'd rather you just do your position to learn that. And then like later on in the year, when we get, week 14, 15, playoffs, maybe you do some of that. But I feel like early in the year, just let him learn that. You know what I'm saying? Because we want him to be the best inside linebacker he could be.
He's getting there.
Just my thoughts. He's
getting there.
Yeah, he's getting there.
See what he did? Who did he hit? Bucky? Oh my God, he hit Bucky. I thought I was watching the program. Remember when James Conn told the white boy, he said, chill out with all that cute type of tackling. I want you to take this helmet and ram it right in his chest. I want to see nothing but snot bubble. The way Bucky was laying on the ground, I was like, damn, do he got snot bubbles? That boy, he laid the wood on him. He stood down there for a minute.
He injured. They said he's injured. That boy got injured.
Now that's how you hit. That's how you tackle. That's Philly football. I mean, that's football everywhere, but that's Philly football. You hit him so hard.
If that was Sidney Brown, he would have took himself out.
Yeah, but we're going to start calling Sidney Brown a Scud missile. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it don't.
Well, I don't ever want him to hit because when he hits, he hurts himself.
That's when it don't.
I call him I just say that he is part of the ever-growing faction of people who can't stay healthy. I ain't even going to say what I call him tonight. I'm going to say it another night. The plain clothes.
Oh, faction. Yeah. Free clothes fashion?
Yeah, he's part of the plain clothes. I can't help but say it's plain clothes brigade. He's definitely a part of that. Goddard is a part-time member as well because he always hurt every year. All right, so guys, we're going to go ahead and keep this thing flowing along. Benny, I'm gonna start with you. Your elite performance of the week.
I got to go with Cooper DeJean, man. What he did last year, very, very impressive. But now I'm seeing a different side of him. Like he really, really embracing his role. The tackles that he was making, and I feel bad for him because he had that pick, and we get that penalty. And look, what is this taunting crap? Just because he's somebody is like, okay, maybe he could have walked backwards, but I see a lot of players step over other players that don't get a taunting call. After that was called, that's when he came in and did. Oh my God, Cooper DeJean. I gotta get his jersey, dog.
All right, Diva, who you got?
My boy for the second week in a row, Quinyon Mitchell.
Okay. We already talked about what it did. Key, who you got?
Dallas Goedert, 2 tubs.
2 tutties for DG. All right. Leaves me a lot of options, but I'm gonna take a fun one here. I'm gonna take Jalen Carter. The reason he's my elite performance of the game is my man came into the game hurt. Played through it, had to sit out for a bit because the pain. Got the pain back under control in his mind, went back in the game, and helped us lock up the victory. So I'm gonna go with Jalen Carter because when you play through pain and you play well, she gets some props. That's an elite performance to me. So I'm gonna go with my boy, Jalen Carter. And then, of course, y'all know we gotta do the other side. You got your elite performance, and then you got your weakest link. All right, we're gonna go reverse this time. Key, who's your weakest link?
Who was my weakest link? Dang, I had it in my head too. Gonna go with KP again. Second half, we couldn't do nothing. I don't know what he was playing. I don't know what kind of play calling he was doing in the second half, but it wasn't cutting it. So, Kevin Petrillo, you're on the weakest link. Goodbye.
Diva?
I'm gonna go with his road dog, Nick Sirianni, because he ain't nobody to get.
Nicholas John. Okay. Benny, who you got?
Jalen Hurts. Because that's the franchise quarterback. You have every right to take a stand. If you don't like the game plan or whatever the game plan was in that second half, you have every right to change it. You are out there. They're not out there. You are. Just like you took control in that game against the Rams in the second half, that's what he should have did in the second half of the Bucs game. Because there's no way you got that elite roster on offense and you're going to come up with -1 yard. Love me some Jalen, but I just need him to stop bitching.
I'm gonna go with Matt. Yeah, I'm gonna go with because every time he comes to the game, pressure seems to be getting to our quarterback more, and he seems to be getting beat like a government mule every week.
Who, Matt Pryor? Who, Matt Pryor?
Yeah, that's it, Matt Pryor.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Matt Pryor as my weakest link. And with that being said, going to our review, week 4. So as y'all know, we kind of do a little different this year. Instead of trying to break down offense, defense, whatever. So let each person go around and get a specific thoughts on what happened in the game, how they feel about the game, how we saw it through our eyes. Diva, you haven't went first yet, so let's go first with you. Your thoughts, week 4, Eagles versus Bucks.
I mean, I think we played that game a little bit better than we played the Bucks in previous years. But to come out in that second half and not score anything was horrible. Not to find a way to get certain players open, not having creative or adjusting your play calling during halftime to continue the momentum into the second half, and having to depend on the defense to get you through and win that game. Defense played great. There's still some issues with tackling I see. I need for Coop to be on tackling duty in practice and teach these people how to tackle from the knee, not from the shoulder or the waist and just try to grab. No, man, you have to tackle them from the knee or the leg and wrap them up. I'm sick of seeing these half-ass tackles that we've been doing, and we just letting players just scoot on by. That needs to be fixed. But I am glad that we won this game because we haven't beat the Bucks in a good 2 years. It could have been a lot better. Probably could have been a more of a high-scoring game if that offense would have been able to fire on a cylinder, because they weren't even on a cylinder. Second half. Yeah, we got to figure out with this play calling. Somebody got to take over. If it has to be Jalen, like I feel like he did the last game, then that's what needs to happen. Because what we got going is it's not moving and shaking. And you're not gonna beat the best of the best teams with the next couple of games we got coming up besides the Giants. We're not gonna beat them playing like this. And it kind of in a way reminds me of the year with Brian Johnson and just barely winning, doing enough to barely win. And I don't like that. So that game we won, but it wasn't the way I wanted us to win.
Okay. Benny, we'll go with you second, sir. Your thoughts.
Kudos to the defense. Kudos to the special team. I'm so happy we did beat them guys, finally. I mean, hopefully, if we play them next year, it'll be here in Philly. So we won't have to worry about the heat. I'm done with, giving Kevin Patullo a chance. You've been here since just as long as Nick been here. He's been here just the same time with Nick. And for him to be in charge of this offense that we have, I'm thinking it's time for to get this dude some help. He needs some help because if things don't change with this offense, I see 2023 happening all over again. The defense cannot do everything for us. They can win a game, but they can't win the season for us. Sometimes that offense got to be running like a Maserati or a Lamborghini. You got two killers on the outside. You got a killer in the backfield. I think he's more overwhelmed about having this job than doing his job. He's more overwhelmed of having this job, this title as OC, than doing this job. I don't think he knows what he's doing. And if they don't make no changes within this next 2 games, I'm not saying that Denver is going to be a cakewalk, because Denver is very, very good. They are very good. They play hard. And I'm not going to sit here and overlook the Giants because they've been playing hard. something has to change. I'm glad we won the game though. We 4-0. Yippee. I'm just keeping it real.
All right, Key, your thoughts?
Well, everything was looking good, you know. I was like, okay, special teams, Michael Clay, shout out to you. You and whatever you're doing with the special teams, keep it up. Got another block, ran in there for a touchdown. Sidney Brown was in the right spot at the right time. Things started clicking. I'm like, all right, maybe we seeing this new, maybe we seeing the whole team back the way it was. Second half, nothing. Lane couldn't play for some other reason. And then they put Matt Pryor in there. Don't you know what happened last time Matt Pryor was in there? Nothing. Just whenever somebody goes out, the next person up should be Fred. I don't care what position it is. As long as it ain't center, because Fred don't clearly do that. But Fred should be your first option whenever something happens to a lineman. Fred can go in. That's it. That's it and that's all. We need Fred. As soon as Fred came in, what happened? Shit moved. Look, Fred. He may not be a name out there, but he's a name in Philly, and we love Fred. And Fred should get an extension to stay here because he's going to be Lane Johnson's replacement. I'm just saying. That's my thoughts. Second half, I don't know what happened. It was just same old thing. Couldn't get nobody open. 3 and outs. Yes, our defense is good, but what happens when you keep getting 3 and out after 3 and out after 3 and out? The defense is going to get tired. And then that's when the game's going to get lost because they're tired. They're gonna make mistakes. They ain't gonna be able to tackle nothing. So I'm not saying I'm losing faith in this offense because I'm not. It's just when are we going to see the team that we know we are? How long? Week 12? Week 13? How long we gotta wait? We in week 5. We in week 5. And we've seen flashes. We shouldn't see flashes. It should be consistent movement offense, and don't run Saquon up the middle. How many times we gotta tell you that? Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder can see that. Don't run Saquon up the middle. So, first half was great, brilliant. Defense played their behinds off throughout the whole game. Just that offense in the second half, I don't know what happened, and coaches gotta take some accountability. But Nick ain't so.
Like that we won the game. I like the way we were moving the ball in the first half. I feel like in the second half, what happened was we were trying to focus on getting A.J. Brown the ball and not really just taking whatever was there. I feel like a lot of Eagles fans are, the offense is better. It's going to be a repeat of 2023. I mean, the offense is going to be better. Right, we still got Saquon. He hasn't really got off yet. AJ had one good half. Devontae hasn't really got off yet. I feel like we're gonna have times where different guys are gonna get off, but they have to adjust to a new coach, a new style of play calling, and it takes some time. Even last year when we had Kellen Moore, who was a veteran play caller, it took until our bye after week 4 before we really got things together. So I think we're doom and gloom because of our past. As a fan base, and as soon as something don't go right, we like, if we don't get this together right now, then we're gonna be like we was in our worst year the past 5 years. And I get it. We don't want to be at that point, but I think we gotta allow for too little time to grow into the role. We got a lot of players to adapt to whatever he wants to do differently. Because even if he's on the staff, he's not the same person. So it's gonna take time. I don't like the good half, bad half, or just crappy game like the first one against the Cowboys. I don't like those games. But if we're struggling, if we're complaining about how much we see and how much we don't like, and we still 4-0, just imagine when we get it together. Just imagine we just get a little bit better this week, run a couple more plays that make sense in both halves. And I'm not saying that this will happen, but I feel like instead of me worrying about every single thing that was bad last week, I'm going to try to focus on the positive things. And, first half, we got out to a lead. I think one of our biggest issues, and this doesn't matter who's the OC is that our coach wants to be like, we're just going to do enough to win the games, and then we're not going to show any more to play, but we don't have to. But you got to realize A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, they're not trying to go a whole season. Jalen's not trying to go a whole season throwing 120 yards a game, 150 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wants to have some games where he get out there and he sling that rock. Also, not just him. Devontae wants to have some big games. Saquon wants to have big games. AJ obviously wants to have big games. So you got to open up the offense at times. And forcing the ball is not going to help. I think Jalen did a poor job of when he was trying to get the ball to A.J. Brown. There's a couple of throws that was errant, but you're getting a lot of pressure because Matt Pryor is not blocking nobody. Let's be honest. If we're going to have why did I get a blame? Tyler Steen. Tyler Steen is going to be out for an extended period of time. We got to have somebody better as the backup. Got to have somebody that can get in there and run that position the same as Steen. That's not Matt Pryor. So I think that's something we need to be looking at. I'm gonna ease off a little bit on the play calling. It's not good, but you got to give it some time. We're talking about this in week 6. Then it's like, all right, we there need to be some change. But I'm gonna give it a little bit more time. I see at least we're putting together halves now. We put together the second half. We came out in the first half and did the same thing. But then the play calling just got very conservative, I feel like. I think that's a big thing that has a lot to do with Nick Sirianni. Because even last year, I complained a lot. We all did that. Oh man, we're not putting up enough. We're doing just enough to win games, and at some point, you have to really blow people out. Then, as we got closer to the playoffs, they started to open things up more. So I feel like that's maybe a Sirianni thing, but I will agree with Benny in that Jalen's got to do a better job audible out a couple of those. There's been a couple of plays happen. The game shouldn't be that close when you're up like that in the first half. And truthfully, the week before, you shouldn't come back when you're down that much. So we got a couple of wins that, you might sit there and say that teams don't normally get, but we're 4-0 like that. What's going to happen when this thing really get together? What's going to happen when we really you know what I'm saying? When we kind of groove. Because it's going to get better. It's going to get better. I don't know how much better, but it's going to get better.
Let me say this. And I'm taking this from the tribal chief. They don't respect us because they don't fear us. We got to make these teams fear us like they used to. Teams used to, before they get off the bus in front of the stadium or before they leave the hotel, they was already nervous because they know what they was in for coming into our stadium. And I ain't talking about the fans. I'm talking about the defense that they got to face, the offense they got to face. They feared what they could not stop. That being up, what was it, 24-6 in the first half?
But you can't always have that when you got new people, Benny. It's not like it's not college where dudes is staying, players are not staying, coaches are not staying. So when you have changes in coaches, it's going to take time. You're not going to have – no one was going to step into the OC role and do what we wanted to do the first 3-4 weeks. No one's going to be able to do that because we're losing OCs every year because we have a good offense. We're making it to the playoffs even the years that we're bad, right? We still have a good offense.
But
so
shouldn't this mean that – I mean, they was up, cool. I mean, you was watching.
They were up.
They was up.
Again,
then
I never said it like, oh, I'm happy with it, but I'm saying we got to give it some time. No one's going to walk in, putting in a new system. And like I said, whenever you get an OC, the system changes some. It shouldn't have changed as much with Patullo, but we don't know the Nick Sirianni influence. We don't know if Nick's like, oh, I just want to do this. And, we don't know how that goes either. My whole thing is I'm not happy with a great half and then a garbage half. Or like in the first 2 games, enough plays to win, but not even really good games. But I feel like we're not taking into account We lost players. We lost leaders.
Yes.
We got a problem at the second corner, no matter how many points the Eagles score, as we showed last week. If we don't get the second corner figured out, if we don't get these deep balls and how you're going to play them figured out with some of these young guys making mistakes, those are things that are going to cost us no matter how many points we're scoring. It's not all the offense. It's easy to put it all on the offense because we see what's happening. But the defense gave up a lot of big plays. We can't give up big plays like that and continue to win.
So
we got to be able to say, yo, even if the offense is struggling, the defense, we got to hold it down. And if the defense is struggling, the offense got to hold it down. And the offense has further to go. But we got some areas of concern on the defensive side of the ball. And one of those is cornerback number 2. We got injuries, so our depth is not what it should be either. And those guys aren't going to be back for at least another 3-4 weeks. So there are things that the defense needs to be better at. The defense is not great, perfect. It's not the defense that we had last year either. And a big part of that is because we let Darius Slade, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and Isaiah Rodgers go. And now you're trying to replace a lot of veterans that have experience. So it's going to take time on both sides of the ball. But at the end of the day, we can complain as much as we want. We're 4-0.
That's true, but I mean, last year we was 10-0. I mean, I guess my thing is we do got to give it time, but I'm just iffy about these inside hires who've never been coordinators before. You know what I'm saying? Like we said the same thing about the whole Brian Johnson thing. We gave it time and look what happened. We won 10 games and then on both sides of the ball we were garbage. I mean, I get it, but I mean, I'm just waiting to see. I'm just waiting to see because you don't know. You can say give it time and he might get it together, then he might not. He really might not.
At the end of the day, even if we don't, we're going to get some better on offense. The offense is going to get somewhat better. I don't know what level, but it's going to be somewhat better. The defense that we have now is nowhere near as garbage as the defense that we had in 2003. That's why I kind of, in myself, honestly, I say, you know what? Why are we trying to act like this is 2023 all over again? This defense is much better. Even if the offense never gets to where we want the offense to be, this defense is better than that. It's a young defense because we did lose some pieces. We're going to figure out what's happening at the second corner, whether it's Corey Bennett, he come back, whether they find a miracle way to work on Eli Ricks, whatever. We're going to at least get better. That defense from 2023 was lack of coaching and lack of talent. We don't have either one of those concerns this year. So I don't see us being as bad as 2023. I don't see us winning. We may not win 10 games in a row. We might lose to somebody, right? Because we done got lucky a couple of games. But the thing is, this is a much better defense, in my opinion, than anything we had in 2023.
I mean,
Some
I
of the
think we
pieces
have
are young.
in
So if you got a good defense, you're not going to have that crash because the defense is going to keep you somewhat in games.
Well, I think we had a good
defense just gave up.
In 2023. We didn't have a good defensive coach or coordinator. That was
Right.
the problem there.
So we have the coordinator and we got more talent. So I'm not worried about being 2023, but I am worried about being good enough to go back to the Super Bowl. But even last year, like, I don't know if maybe we won the Super Bowl and the way the season ended, we kind of forget some of those games. That first game we won out of 10 against Cleveland, that was a terrible game. That was garbage from the offense, right? But we did enough to beat Cleveland because the defense held us down. We had some games in that stretch where the run game wasn't that good, specifically Pittsburgh. Jalen threw it when he needed to. I feel like we're going to be better offensively. Yeah, I can't say we're going to be as good as we were last year because we got a first-time play caller, and I'm sure that Nick has some influence on how the offense is ran.
Right.
But I've been saying this for 3 years.
Because we don't trust him.
And I'm still saying
that's my problem.
3 years.
But the thing about it is we've seen Kellen Moore in 2-3 different teams coach. So we knew eventually he was going to find out the way.
But he wasn't that good all the time in Dallas. And
he wasn't.
The Chargers, he wasn't that good the last year.
He wasn't. I mean, but he still was good enough to get them to win games. I mean, look when
The Chargers didn't make the playoffs till last year. He was there.
But still, I mean, my thing is we've seen him as a coordinator.
But there's nothing we can do about the first-time coordinator. There's nothing's going to change about that. Nick is not going to fire his boy this year. So the only thing we can do is say, what really needs to happen is what Benny said. Jalen Hurts has got to start saying, look, there's going to be times when I'm going to take over.
Well, Jalen,
what are they going to do?
We talked about that. You already know Jalen is the do boy. So,
but he did it. He has done it at least once. He did it against the Rams.
But he's the do boy.
So he's gonna have to get out of that. If he wants to win this year, he's gonna have to get out of that.
I get it, but it's not gonna be
to an extent at times. I don't expect him to do it every game, but there's gonna have to be times. And honestly, everybody else is on this whole thing about AJ, like, oh, AJ was saying this and that, and I like Devontae because he just buckle up and play. He don't say nothing. We need AJ Brown. We need people like that. We need somebody to come out and say, we gotta be better than this. All he really saying is, look, this is garbage what we're doing right now, and we can be better. You saw that we could be better last year. You weren't on the staff. So if I got to come out and call it out so that we make some changes and some people come talk to me, right, and we'll get some things straightened out, then that's what I'm going to do. And if I got to be the bad guy and apologize after I do it, oh, well. If it worked last year, hopefully it'll work again. My thing is, I feel like a lot of people are going, not everybody, but a lot of people are going doom and gloom already. And it's like, bro, I get it. I'm not happy with what I see either. But I believe we're going to find a way to get it together and do enough offensively. I don't think the offense is going to be anywhere near last year. I ain't draft Saquon Barkley in no leagues. Reason being, I knew he would have a big dip in production. Because the one thing every team is going to do this year is bottle that man up. He went out there and had a all-time career top 10 running back year. You think anybody will come back and let him do that again? Look at Derrick Henry.
Yep.
Same thing. You can't stop Derrick Henry, so they're starting to punch the ball out. They're starting to look at the way he carried the ball and punch the ball out. That's what you're going to have happen when someone performs at that level. You take the running game away, and you give us a new coordinator, which you're going to have either way. Even if you bring somebody from the outside, it's going to take him time to initiate anyway. So the thing for me is it really needs to be better. But at the same time, I'm not going to go through the if it don't turn around right now, we at the point where we was in 2023 because we can't be that bad with the defense. Defense needs time. It needs to gel because they're young guys. There's guys hurt, but it's still better than the defense we had because we let guys go and we didn't have a competent coordinator. We don't have that problem right now. So I feel like defense is going to be able to keep us in games while the offense figures it out. And then keep in mind, after this game against the Broncos, we got Giants, Vikings, Giants. So if we can get through this week, the Giants should be a game where we can make a few things happen. And the Vikings got Carson Wentz at quarterback right now. So depending on if he's the quarterback when we play or not, or if their quarterback's back, that game could be interesting as well. But I feel like
it's going to be interesting because you got Brian Flores.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting on the defensive side, but I'm saying our defense. Brian Flores is going to do some things to make it difficult on offense.
Yeah.
But it's what we do to make it difficult on their offense, right? Because Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, they can't get off if the quarterback is on his butt the whole game. He ain't got time to make plays. We see from our own quarterback. They be throwing the ball away. You know, they feel that pressure, that clock speed up in their mind. That happens in any quarterback. We got to have our line intact, too. Matt Pryor having to get in there and play, that was – every time he's in there, Jalen don't look as good because he like a matador game.
I don't know why they just be like, all right, go ahead, Matt, go in. No, it shouldn't be Matt Pryor from the start. Fred, go.
But Fred couldn't play both positions, and Lane got hurt, too. So at some point, we was going to have Matt Pryor in. Because they have him as a guy that's one of the top two guys. I mean, I don't agree with it. Don't get me wrong. But that's what they have. So I'm just saying, I feel like we're going to get better on offense, and I feel like the defense is going to come together all the way and be dominant once everybody gets healthy. But my problem is always going to be until we figure it out, that second corner. Wow. But everywhere else, I feel confident on the defense.
Isn't one of the goals this team to get 1% better every day.
That's what we've been told. So they should be 7% better by next Sunday. So we'll see.
I'll be sitting in my
Man, we keep going week 7 and 8, and ain't nothing changed. You know we got control over it.
All right, so let's go ahead, y'all. Transition to our preview for our upcoming game. So I'll ask everybody the question, and then after that, anything else you want to add, feel free to. So my question is, we're gonna focus on the offense. That seems to be the side of the ball that most people feel like needs a little bit of work. So for the offense, what do we need to do to have success offensively, hopefully for a whole game, against the Denver Broncos, who have a pretty good defense? Key, let's start with you.
I mean, again, this is how they started off the first half. That's how we got to start. And 60 minutes is how we should play offense. Fast, get to your spots. There were some stuff out there saying, oh, Jalen might have been concussed. Some people saying, oh, our offensive line isn't good how it was. They saying Landon's hurt. Lane is hurt. Things ain't the same. Then I even heard, oh, they blaming it on Jeff Stoutland. What he got to do with this? We still got one of the best offensive lines in the game, even though Saquon's not getting going yet. The offense isn't getting going yet, but it needs to be. I say halfway through the season, we're on week 5, and shouldn't be talking about getting the offense together. I know we got a new offensive coordinator, and I know it takes some time to get his offense together. But at the same time, Nick don't trust him, and that's why he doing the stuff he do. Nick trusted Kellen Moore. That's why his hand wasn't in the cookie jar really. But his hand is in the cookie jar now. You can tell a Nick move between Nick and Kevin calling something. You can tell. You definitely can tell. You're not gonna do nothing to the defense because Vic got that covered. So, but I'm just saying, if things don't open up in the playbook or offensively, it's going to be an issue. If we drop a game, it's going to be an issue. If we win, it's going to be an issue. Damn if you do, damn if you don't type of situation. But we need to just play solid, sound football for 60 minutes. No half, we off, and then second half we come out lights out and vice versa. Straight 60 minutes of Eagles football. Straight minutes. I know Surtain's going to be probably on AJ, or Denver got a good defense, so we have to play smarter. We can't force the ball to AJ. That's going to be a turnover. Surtain's going to take it and go the other way. So their front is sound. So we have to play smart. Either go with some screens to get fasty. We got Smitty on the outside. How about we bounce Saquon on the outside? And we did something last week that they said we can't do. That's how we win games. We didn't do a tush push not one time, and we won the game. Then they were talking about, oh, let's be in the tush push. They faked it. Come on now. We didn't do the push. What's the excuse now? We didn't run it. So I wanted to see if we can run it without it. We can run it. We can still win games without the tush push. So they listened to me for once. They listen to us. I said, go ahead and run it, and just shut everybody up. Don't run it. Shut everybody up. They still talk. So, we just gotta be smart. Offensively sound football. That's it. No turnovers. Just think better than Sean Payton. That's it.
Diva?
I mean, yeah, to piggyback off what Keith said, I just think that right now maybe Jalen needs to take over the offense. Like, look at what they're giving you and go from there. You know what I'm saying? And use the middle of the field to get passes. Use short middle of the field passes to get AJ open or Devontae open. Yeah, I just feel like the line is not moving or shifting in the way that they were getting Saquon open, especially when he was running up the middle. So yeah, bounce back to the edge, have a fake, and then Saquon got good legs, so he can juke and jerk and bounce out to the edge and go around and probably get several touchdowns. I mean, he got a lot last year bouncing from the edge. So you got to figure out a way to how to get him moving where he's not just running up the middle every game. Of course, they're gonna clog the middle. I mean, they know he's gonna run the middle every play. We're using Saquon, especially now. Definitely gonna have to be smart, not force the ball. There was a lot of forcing the ball when Jahan Dotson was wide open. Jalen wasn't even looking Jahan's way, I guess, because he was trying to AJ get open. But you also gotta look at AJ as well if you want to get open. Like sometimes you gotta fake the pass, or you gotta look at one receiver and throw it to the other. So you just gotta be creative as far as the offense goes. Defense, I just need for y'all to tackle. You know what I'm saying? Tackle. That's it. And we actually, we got to start getting a little bit of pressure on Baker at the end, but the first half, second quarter, we really weren't getting pressure on Baker Mayfield. He was out there running around looking like Patrick Mahomes. So we got to try to get pressure. But I also don't want the D always on the field because that's where some of the injuries are coming from because they're always on the field. So you're going to get tired, you're going to get injuries, you're going to get always on the field. So we just got to play a balanced game where both are firing on all cylinders, not one trying to cover for the other. I just want a balanced game for all. And if Jalen got to take over until Kevin Petula can get it right, if he can't get it right, that's always my thing. When Nick hires inside, Nick runs. When he hires somebody from the outside, he can't run them because they've been in that position before, so they're not going to let Nick run them. It's always different when you hire somebody from the inside, especially with Nick. So that's my worry when it comes to the offense. So that's why I say I'm gonna wait. We're gonna wait and see. I'm gonna wait and see where that goes.
Benny,
just like I said about the Bucks game, this is how you get them off guard. Start doing some screen pass. What they did in that first half. Bravo. Now, with the screen pass, that sets up a lot of play action. But you don't just want to, I don't want to see them, be so conservative. You can't let, AJ shouldn't be running the same old 2 routes in this game. Because now, the defensive coordinators, they already hip to that. They already know what he's running. So he's telling his guys, this is how you jump the route. He's going to run this route. When you see this, he's going to run this route. He only got 2 routes. So this is what you do. You jump this route. We take him out the game. This is the frustrate. That's why he's frustrated. This is why he's frustrated. Because he knows that the defense knows what he's doing. But this is how you beat it. I was listening to Seth Joyner. Diva just said it. Jalen, if you're looking at one receiver, you're going to move that safety over. And once you see that safety move over, you go to that open guy. He missed Jahan 3 times. 3 times. Can't do that. This is where you got to get the number 3 receiver involved in the game. Because the number 3 receiver opens up everything for the outside receiver. You can do that. Denver's defense off balance. We can make some good type of drive. We don't have to go for the kill shot all the time. Do some drives. 10 play drive. Keep that defense on on the field. Let them get gas. And the reason why we can't do certain type of run is because of our the key players are hurt. Landon can't pull like he normally can pull. Lane can't pull like he normally can pull. And then I don't know about if how good of a run blocker is Tyler Steen. I've never seen him do a run block. Y'all, have you? He's no Mekhi Becton. This is why we can't get this run game, because that one. I mean, damn, I understand he went to get the money. I would have stayed and got me another chip. But everybody wants to get paid. I understand it. That's the main thing. That's the main reason why we can't get our run game together, because we do not have that roadblock of a Mekhi Becton.
I want to say this. I think controlling time of possession is going to be important in the game. That's going to be kind of like the main focal point of what we're doing. Going to have to control time of possession. As Benny said, longer drives, right? Keep their offense off the field as much as possible. Bo Nix, you can make him make mistakes. He's second-year quarterback. But for our offense, we have to, maintain possessions, get first downs. Instead of taking as many deep shots, some crossing routes, some hook routes, some out routes, short routes, quick slants, things like that. Some screen passes mixed in as well. You don't want to overdo the screen, because once the other team picks up on the screen, they start eating it alive. So you don't want to overdo it, but you want to be able to mix some different things in. We got to run the ball better. I think the main thing is where we're running it to. As Diva said it, I've said, Key said many times, a lot of runs seem to start in the middle. Saquon had a couple of times this past game where he kind of jumped like old Saquon, right? Like he went one way, bounced, fake, went another way, bounced, fake, went another way. Didn't get open as much because I think, again, the focus is stopping Saquon. One thing I haven't seen us do that I think would be helpful is play action. Fake the run to Saquon, keep the ball, Jalen, go over the top for a quick slant or a quick play to one of the receivers or the tight end. You've been going to Goddard enough where I think he's going to start being looked at by other defenses like, okay, he's throwing the ball to Goddard. I don't think the quick shovel passes to Goddard are going to work as well as they did this past week because people have time to plan for him. The variation of the tush push where you ran the ball, I like that because that was something, unique and different. I think the problem that Nick, what I see from Nick, I'm not going to just give you my thoughts. What I see from Nick is I feel like whenever there's a new coordinator, he has trouble at first getting out of their way, whether it's in-house or outside. I think he has trouble getting out of their way at first. I think as it goes on, he realizes, okay, I got to get out of their way. For those he ends up saying, okay, he's getting a job, let me get out of his way. I don't know if that's going to be Petula or not, but I do know that right now it does feel like some of these plays have some Nick-like qualities to them. And then even if you're calling plays, right, he's still your head coach. So if your head coach is like, hey, man, I want to be conservative this half, then you got to kind of do that, right? Because that's your boss, essentially. But back to what we've been saying. I've been saying for 3 years what we've all been saying. Jalen, sometimes you got to say that's not going to work. Let's audible into something else. And that's okay for you to do. I get you're not going to do it all the time. You're the good soldier. You're the guy that's going to kind of follow what should be done. I get that. But there has to be some times where you say, man, we're going to mess around and lose this game if I don't do something different. Let me go ahead and say, yo, we're going to do this. Let me audible. Those things are acceptable at times as well, even for you, Jalen. You're more of a state color in the lines guy. We'll say it like that. But we got to control possession. We have to keep the defense fresh as we can, run the ball, and be okay with getting small yards and not chunk plays. Nick's all about chunk plays. He has been since he's been our coach. But at times you have to adapt and adjust. You get that ball to Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown on a quick slant when they got a half a step on a defender where they can catch and run, they can break one of those every time. And even if they can't, you're moving the chains, you're chugging along. You start throwing the ball, you open up the running game. You start running the ball, you open up the pass game. You just got to vary it. Don't try to be married to one thing. It doesn't have to be the run the whole time. It doesn't have to be the pass the whole time. It's whatever's working. As you play, you start taking what they're giving you. But you come out with your 20 or so plays, mix it up in those plays, and, try to get plays that are going to help the team be successful. That's what I feel like is missing. I feel like Nick's kind of got a hand in it. Not necessarily calling the plays in my mind all the time, but what he wants to see. Like, I just want to try to burn the clock, and, if we can get first downs and move the ball, that's cool, but if not, at least want to be burning the clock. I don't like that, letting your foot off the other person. The other team. Don't ever let your foot off. You put your foot on their throat and you squeeze down, you lean down heavier. I think a lot of times we take our foot off because what he wants to do is follow what we did last year. Started out a little shaky last year. We got a little bit better as we got past the bye, got into our winning streak, finished the season, then we got in the playoffs, and then we started like taking it to the next level. And I think he wants to follow the same pattern. But what I need Nick to understand is this ain't the same team, and other teams ain't the same. A lot of teams have been preparing. They spent their offseason trying to do what they could to compete with the Philadelphia Eagles, because we are the reigning defending champions. So we just got to be basic sometimes. Sometimes just keep it simple, stupid. Just kiss it. Keep it simple, stupid. Run the ball, short plays. If you get an opportunity, you take it. Run the time of possession. You've got 3 running backs, use them. If you want to run inside, why do it with Saquon every time? A.J. Dillon's got speed. He can run inside, outside. I think Shipley, if I read correctly, I think he's practicing. So he might be able to get back out there and break some plays. He was playing well until he got hurt with the rib situation. So use your weapons that you have, but don't always try to go for the big plays. Sometimes just chuck it, dunk it, take some time off the clock, score, maybe hopefully get some more special teams plays. And defense, just got to protect cornerback number 2. That's all I really got to say about the defense. Anything else you good people want to add to that before we get to our last thing for the evening?
I don't know. I think I'm good.
I'm good.
Benny?
I'm good.
All right, so the last question tonight is real simple. So a lot of talk about the best team in the league. Eagles are 4-0, but a lot of prognosticators, a lot of pundits, personalities, talking heads, all that stuff, don't feel like that we are the best team in the NFL. So my question is just simply, and we go any order y'all want to go in. Question is simply, are the Philadelphia Eagles the best team in the league? And if you don't think we are right now, who is?
There are 2 teams that's undefeated, us and Buffalo. We are the better team. We are undefeated. We are the reigning defending Super Bowl champs right now. So until that title is broken, we are the best team in NFL.
All right. What do you think, Benny?
We're not playing like we're the best team, but we are the best team ever. We're just not playing like it.
He said,
We're not playing like a 4-0 team. But I would never say about the team that I love that we're not the best team. We can be 0-16. I still say we're the best team.
well, that's not a good. That doesn't make me feel comfortable as somebody listening to you. Your answer. That doesn't make me feel good. Your answer. That makes me feel like your answer doesn't matter because I'm just keeping it a buck. If you telling me if we 0-16, you're gonna say we the best team, then bruh, What
You
do
know,
you
be
really
like,
think?
you ain't win no games. You got the number and with the number one pick, the Philadelphia Eagles select.
Right. You ain't the best team if you got number one pick unless you got that bad boy in the trade. You are far from the best. I'm just saying, man. Come on now.
It's just
I mean, I'm a diehard Eagles fan, but if we 0-16, we are nowhere near the best team in the league.
we the best fuck up team.
Now, if you want to add that into it, sir.
Truly, we are the best team because we the champs. I just don't want to get punched in the mouth.
Diva.
Yeah, I mean we're gonna be the best team because, I mean, face it, when we kind of, I ain't gonna say it was the best, we did win 10 games and it fell off. I mean, for the past, I would say 7-8 years, Philadelphia has been the best team in the league. We just, couldn't make it to where we wanted to make it. But we are defending reigning champs. I mean, right now Buffalo might be playing a little bit better than us, but hopefully praying that we will figure it out and we can get that offense rolling. We can figure something out with the CB position, which I'm doubtful, but hopefully that can happen. But yeah, I mean, we might not be playing like we're supposed to or how people think we should be at this moment, but praying it gets better. And yeah.
I think we're one of two best. I think we're one of the two best teams in the league right now, along with Buffalo. To separate ourselves, this is a good opportunity against a good Denver Broncos team. If we can beat this Denver Broncos team, we should beat the Giants. So if we can get them 2 wins and get to 6-0, I don't think Buffalo's going to get to 6-0. So then we can stand alone atop the mountain as the best team. Right now, I would say we are one of the best teams. I wouldn't put necessarily anyone above us, but I would put Buffalo pretty much on equal grounds right now, because the whole argument is we're 4-0. Because statistically we haven't been playing well, but we are 4-0. So if we are good, if we one of the best for being 4-0, I gotta say the same thing about Buffalo right now. But this is week 4. After week 4, going into week 5. A couple of weeks from now, we should be able to solidify ourselves if we can continue to get this offense moving in the right direction. I will say this: offense, we need diversity. What we don't want is ever to have a situation where the offense, where the other team is saying, "Oh, they're running this play again. Oh, they're running this play." You know what I'm saying? Like we got to differentiate enough. Even if you run the same plays backwards, like we got to do some things differently. Run the similar plays out of different formations, different personnel packages. You just got to mix it up. But Patullo has to do what he feels comfortable doing. But sometimes you just be like, "Look, I don't even know, Jalen. Just you figure it out, bro." You know what I'm saying? If that's what you gotta do, that's what you gotta do. But I feel like opportunities are there, even not just this week, but season long. Opportunities are there for the Philadelphia Eagles to play the best brand of football that they can, and to dominate and have an opportunity to do what we haven't ever done before, and that's win back-to-back Super Bowls. And the way to do it is lean on the defense, get everybody back, try to stay healthy once guys get back, and the offense has got to come along. We got to be able to run the ball better. Even if it's by committee, we got to be able to hit plays, take our shots when they're there, but even when they're not, just make plays that make sense. Just read what's there and take it. If you know you got an inferior line because of a certain person being hurt or somebody being injured so they're not playing as well, you got to compensate for that. That's on our quarterback as well and our running back, whoever's in the game. Sometimes you got to shade over and help out. Before my man Benny Boone, my sister, the Eagles diva, and for the homie Key. This is your boy McCain. We'll be back next week. Hopefully talking about another Philadelphia Eagles win. Even if we're saying how we mad because we waited till the second half to play, or we mad because we stopped playing the third quarter, whatever. We win the games right now. Be happy. But if we go out and we play a wonderful game and we lose, I'm not gonna be happy. I'd rather an all right game and we win than a wonderful game we lose. So if we can get them to play our style of football, I'll be happy with that. Any last words, everybody? Anybody got any last words?
Be elite. Go Birds.
Make sure y'all come Sunday, 1 o'clock. See our reactions if y'all want to come on through the channel. You know, I always have my pen on the table and the blood pressure cup ready.
Right.
Yeah, I got you.
We're going to be there.
You need both of them. You watch the team play. And look, all jokes aside, last year, when did we stop talking about, the Eagles were stressing us out? Once we got to the NFC Championship game. Until the NFC Championship game, we was complaining every week.
Every week.
Barely winning. They stressing us out. They got us worried about what's going to happen. Ain't nothing changed. Nothing changed. That's what it is to be Eagles.
And I love it.
And if you're not a fan, if you're not an Eagles fan, you're on here to hate, you're a dickhead. Hashtag be elite, go Birds, like Diva said, and we out. We almost out. Spring guys.
Yeah.
Now we out.